live. Let's see. Working? I think it is. Sweet, it's working. Hello, watch Tech Flashback, a PC gaming and hardware news live show focused on the bigger stories of the past week. I am your co-host, PC Jack, and as usual, I'm joined by Jerry of Top 3 Entertainment, and we're here today to get into one of my favourite topics I've been waiting for a very long time. Something that was on the very first episode of Tech Flashback as well, actually. So, excited to get into it and hang out with you guys, and hang out with you, Jerry. So, how are things? How are things, Jerry?
Um, I'll say okay. It could be a little better right now, but it's okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Struggle, struggling on wiring this damn PC.
Oh, I see. Fair
Um,
enough. So,
it
what?
I was gonna say everyone usually has the uni fans now, so they got less wires to deal with. I got these. I could see why you don't like RGB sometimes, because I got all these damn wires I gotta flatten out, make look nice, and figure out how to route it.
That is a struggle. I know that when I switched from my RGB fans just to like literally to the Nocto ones, and I was like, I love this so much. Just one cable, that's all you need, and it's totally
Yes,
fine then.
sir.
But
Yeah, and then the AIO, instead of just being the regular 3 pin, they're 3 pin, but the little headers has like little clips on them, so they can't fit into like a fan hub. So I have to use the pigtail that they come with.
oh,
So the three to one end. Yeah, so that's just a big cluster there as well.
that's straight. I haven't heard of that before. So it's got its own dedicated like pump connector essentially.
Yeah, so it comes with a little uh four to four to one header for the ARGB. They're the splitter pretty much, you know. And
Ah, right, okay.
yeah, instead of the 3 pin, the little splitter, the little bracket on it, instead of it just being the normal little square, it has two clips on the side. And then that splitter, that Lean Lee one, connects to that, and it has holes on the side so it can clip in, and so it doesn't fit
Oh,
fan hub. So I pretty much have to use that to control all the ARGB.
that's a struggle I
And
can't really emphasize with too much.
yeah, so
But
it's a little annoying.
it's good though. But like I gotta say, I was really keen on that case overview you did on Friday. Like I didn't realize how big that case was. I was quite surprised.
Yeah,
But like
dude.
it'd be so good for well the clues in the name. But like for if I was thinking about switching out my NAS into a thing, I think I'd go for that because like the amount of storage options is insane for that. Especially if he's not gonna be crazy about using 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch drives. But there's so much room in there, so much room for activities.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna put my dog in it, but I was like, nah, I don't want to get any fur in there, you know?
She might get scared in there. I don't know. Like, but
Yeah.
that's fair
Keep
though.
it
But
cute.
like, no, like props to you because it was a really thorough overview. I really enjoyed it. But I'm keen to see the build when it's all finished.
It's
Uh,
yeah, it'll be interesting. All the parts came together very nicely. Um, I know that's kind of would seem obvious, but they all have like a hint of gunmetal gray on it. And you know the
okay,
Red Devil is that gunmetal gray color.
yeah,
So they all have highlights of that, and the case has like chrome highlights as well. So it all actually fits in very nicely. So yeah, you'll definitely I think you'll enjoy it.
nice. I'm keen to see it. To catch up on the chat. So first up, we got Rugby187 Gaming. Yo, hey guys, welcome to the chat. It's nice to see you stopping by. And we've also got a first coming up that is involved with rugby gaming, but we'll get to that later on. And we got TNGC Guru. Hey, nice to see you stopping by and hanging out. Hope you guys are doing well. It's I've been looking forward to hanging out with you guys. I've been really excited to get into it for today, just because it's a game I'm very excited to talk about. But like we'll wait until later on once we're all sort of
Yeah, I was gonna
once
say,
we're warmed up, you know.
how's your week been?
It's been okay. It's been a bit crazy. I'm still having trouble with my car, which is really annoying. It's been ridiculously
Yeah,
cold here, so I've been carpooling, so I haven't had to worry about
nice.
driving. But like, it's been an absolute nightmare with how cold it's been. Uh, but hopefully, it's
How
supposed to
cold?
get better soon.
How cold is it? How cold is it over there?
It's been like -4. where I am, which what doesn't really correlate. This is like a British to American thing. So like
Yeah.
minus 4C. What would that be in?
Is that like 30 degrees Fahrenheit over here?
Maybe it could be that. Let me do a quick Google. Minus 4C in about 24.8 Fahrenheit.
24.8. Okay, nice. Yeah, so it's 28 degrees outside right now Fahrenheit. So we're
Hmm.
kind of in the similar ballpark over here where I live.
But also my car sucks, so that doesn't particularly help.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But
Can't help you there.
yeah. Besides that, no, it's been okay. I pumped out quite a few videos on the weekend. I got 3 videos done, which is quite cool.
Nice.
So I got 2 videos on the 6950 XT, one coming up this week and another one next week. And I also got a new video on the side channel, which I've been meaning to do for a while. So it's been productive, but I'm gonna have a bit of a chilled gaming weekend, which I'm quite excited about. I have nothing planned,
Yeah.
just gonna do some gaming. Maybe Dead Space. Yeah, maybe the Dead Space remake if reviews are good. But we'll have to wait and
Nice.
see. But no, I'm excited. And of course, The Last of Us was on a couple of days ago. Well,
Sunday.
we watch it on Monday in the UK just
You
because
guys
it comes
watch on
out.
Monday?
It
Okay.
comes out at a ridiculous time for us, so we wait until Monday evening. But yeah, we won't go too far into it because obviously we'll wait until the end of the season. But it was a good episode. I did enjoy it. What did you think of it?
It's pretty cool. Is only those two things I guess I could say. I
Okay.
kind of like I kind of like saying like the parts I think are like a video game.
Hmm.
You know where they go in that room and like the door collapses behind them or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was a total gamer
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. I was like, oh, that's the automatic checkpoint right there, the safe spot. Yeah,
Oh, there's like a thing they give someone a boost.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That reminded me like
It's like
Resident Evil 4.
press square just to,
Yeah,
to boost them
and
down.
then there's this a spot where they were in. I'm not gonna say what or where, but they were in some building and like the sunlight was coming through, and it was like super bright in there.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, man, that's not. I know this is dumb, but I was like, it's way too bright in there. I'm like, in real life, that kind of lighting, you won't get that. I'm like, it'd
It's
still
like
be pretty dark and.
someone turned down the god rays a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
God
I was
rays a
like,
little
there's
too
ray
much.
tracing. I was like, they're using a 4090 to render this game, huh?
But no, I'm really enjoying it so far. But it's cool to see your take on it as someone who hasn't played the game before. I know it's gonna get crazier as the series goes on. But
Nice.
yeah, I enjoyed that. But no, apart from that, it's not much been happening. Just getting on with it, I suppose. But I've been very excited for tonight because I want to get into it with you guys. But before we do, Jerry, we have our first tech flashback submission. It was kind of a submission, but it was also something we're going to bring up. But I'm going to class it as a submission because it's the first time someone's used
Nice.
it. So, if you're a member of the PC Jack Discord, you may have seen that Rugby187 Gaming put up a very useful article in reference to something we were talking about last week in regards to dying GPUs from AMD's RX 6000 series, particularly the 6900, 6800 series of cards. And as we were all a little dubious if it had anything to do with that adrenaline driver. I can't remember the revision, but either way, we have some clarity on exactly what happened. And as we can see on here, this article from TweetTown, which is going to pop up. There we go. Cracked Radeon RX 6000 GPUs caused by mining and poor storage conditions.
Mm.
This makes a lot more sense than a lot of the theories going around anyway from last week. But what we got on here? So, according
Yeah,
to...
I figured.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry. I would say I already figured it had to do with mining, just because.
You did bring that up last week.
But go. You could go ahead
Yeah.
and go on.
According to the in-depth investigation which involved the AMD and GPU community over 150 hours of testing on behalf of ChrisFix, we learned that these GPUs were stored in a warehouse with high moisture, which seems to be one of the critical reasons for the GPUs cracking. Moisture and tech don't mix. Don't have to tell me that, The cards tested include AMD reference designs and custom designs from board partners, though 43 out of the 48 were reference cards. And there's also an actual video in the link on there, so we'll share that out afterwards. But it's good that we've got some actual clarity on what did happen, because it seemed very suspicious for like a driver issue to be causing something like this. Unless it was like you said, it was something like they said it was something with the SoC rail was shorting. It was something to do with
Yeah.
that. I can't remember, but
Yeah,
Well,
there's a
now we
couple of
know.
things on there. Yeah.
But like the mining thing, quite it surprised me because I would have thought like when I think about GPU mining, that's more memory intensive than anything. So would that be particularly like impactful on the GPU die? I don't know. I don't know much about engineering for GPU, so but
Well, when it comes to mining, a lot of people they kind of just like run their program and they just leave their cards as is. Um,
hmm,
like a lot of them were just doing it for money anyway, so I don't think they knew too much about graphics cards. So that's why
yeah,
when it comes to mining, there's a lot of issues because you gotta kind of keep checking on them, like at least every 4 hours. I would recommend just because they usually more on the part that they shut down, but
all right,
you know,
yeah,
yeah. But there's some people that I've seen crazy stories about some miners, and you know how they said it was in a humid area which caused it to crack.
yeah.
I'm not too sure if it was just that or if they might have hosed it down their GPU. I don't know if you've seen those videos where people wash their GPUs with like the water hose.
I didn't see this. Like washing like down the A6, is it or?
Yeah, like they're pretty much like pressure washing them to like clean them.
I just searched washing A6 and I remember A6 are like a brand of trainers, like
Yeah, no,
running shoes.
just type in GPUs. It's like a this case full of graphics cards. So that could be it too. They could have actually
Oh, right.
literally washed their graphics card, which
Yeah, that would make some moisture, I would guess.
yeah, I'd say technically if you don't turn on your GPU, it might not be a problem, but it'll probably rust. You know,
There's
so
that, yeah, but obviously, like you want to be leaving it dry quite a lot. Oh god,
yeah, yeah,
I'm seeing some horrible pictures on here. Just someone's got their
yeah,
card in a sink.
yeah. That one's I think that one was a fake one, or not a fake one, but like a dead card, and they're just having fun.
I'm just
But yeah,
horrified.
no,
I'm horrified in the chat with these pictures. Like,
yeah, just make sure nothing crazy pops up, man.
no, it's bad though. But so it's good we've had some clarification on this because, like, not to say that I was nervous as like an RDNA 2 owner, but like even still, it makes you think. It's like, should I be concerned about this? You know?
Yeah,
But clearly, it wasn't anything to be particularly worried about. But thanks to Rugby 27 Gaming for posting that in the submissions page or channel rather. So if any of you guys do have any articles or any sort of stories you want us to take a quick look at in the show, just feel free to share them in the actual Tech Flashback submissions thing or anywhere where you can get a hold of us because we'll take a little look if it's cool and it's nice to pay back to something that was discussed last week as well. But
I'd say it's kind of messed up because AMD is known for their driver issues. So this person
hmm,
kind of capitalized on that, and AMD is not selling as well as Nvidia cards right now, and it kind of puts their name in a bad spotlight with their GPUs as well. And
hmm.
so the damage is already kind of done, even if people like a lot of people probably knew that, there was a lot more to the story, but either way, it got dragged through the mud, and that's not good. So
It's
that's one reason.
it's easier to pin it. It's very clickbaity as well. But
Yeah, because I mean, we technically capitalized on it too.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But in
But
regards to that though, because I know like going back to like RDNA 1, there was a lot of issues with drivers, which admittedly they've patched up really well. And the state of AMD's like adrenaline software is much better than it was. God, when was RDNA 1? Like, whoa, it's nearly 4 years ago now, I think.
yeah, it's going on a while.
Yeah. But they're great. I haven't had any particular issues with them nowadays. Um, but then if we're looking at like, so I know that like AMD does not have the same kind of market share as Nvidia anyway. But are you saying there's been any sort of like there's been a particular decline on AMD's side in terms of sales, or you mean just generally compared
Uh,
to Nvidia?
just compared to Nvidia in general, I
Right.
think
Yeah.
Nvidia has a large market share of GPUs
Mm.
sold, and a lot of people just go for Nvidia anyways, even if the AMD, like that meme,
I want a
the I'm looking for a
3060.
$300, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking for a $300 GPU. So like I said, it's just it's kind of hard to erase this bad stigma and then them dragging through it doesn't help at all, you know.
Yeah, there's
So
that.
that kind of sucks. It's easier to like once like yeah, whoops, it was a mistake, but like dude, the damage is done already.
Mm.
Like there's already gonna be people. There's already people that were off put by it. But I thought it was kind of weird that all these cards in one area, and that they didn't mention it was off one person, right? They didn't mention that previously.
No, they didn't specify that before, so that's like a bit of crucial information you would think they would have thought to have brought it back in the first
Yeah.
place. But this is a bit of a not a change of topic. It's quite similar, but like I was thinking about like the Steam hardware survey and how a lot of cards like creeping up on like people's hardware choice. Like the 1650 is like the most popular GPU now on there. It was the
Yeah.
1060. I'd be interested to see what AMD's RDNA 2 lineup scales to on there. But what I was wondering about is whether Intel is even cracking it on there now with Arc with the A770. I need to take a look at that. I wonder if I don't know where to find the actual results for the Steam hardware survey, but I'd be curious to know. I have to have a look at it after either way. But that'd be something interesting to see. Because if we're talking about like driver support, the A770 is coming over leaps and bounds with driver support from Intel, as far as I know. Um, Obviously, if we had Tech Lab in the chat, he'd probably be able to clarify this a little bit further. But from when you had your A770, I'm not quite sure how long you had it for, but did you see a particular like improvement to drivers over the period you had it, or was there only like one version out when you had it?
When I had it was the second driver,
Hmm.
I believe.
You got it quite early
And
on, didn't you?
yeah, and I didn't have that many issues like a lot of people did when it came to like it kind of crashing on start and stuff like that. I did have that issue where sometimes one of my monitors wouldn't turn on and I had to restart my PC.
Hmm.
And
Right.
on some yeah, and on Forza it wouldn't really play. There was like a giant X, like a black X in the middle of my screen. That wasn't good.
Oh, I didn't hear about that one. I can't remember that.
Yeah.
Well,
So I heard the new drivers are a lot better, like performance wise. And I heard that OBS has updated their AV1 support, so I do want to check
hmm.
that out.
See, OBS keeps prompting me to update, but I'm like, no. just because everything's like working so well, I'm like, no,
Yeah,
knowing my luck, I'll update it and like something will get broken. But I'll have to check it
or
out.
reset your settings, and then you're gonna be streaming and your mic's gonna be low, or it's not gonna be on, or because that happened to me last stream. It keeps changing my mic to default mic instead of the mic I have on,
Oh,
and sometimes when it puts it to default mic, it uses my monitor as a mic for some reason.
oh,
Yeah, so like, dude, for like one of my live streams, I was talking for like 30 minutes, bro, and no one could hear me. But they could hear my squad, so that was good, I guess.
that was alright then. But like the worst I had it was when I was trying to stream using Linux, and it
Right.
just every week it just kept changing and something would break, the audio would go. It was a nightmare.
Or it
But
crashed.
I shouldn't even be talking about this. I'm probably jinxing this. I'm like, touch my desk. Just touch wood. That'd be totally fine. But we got in the chat. Rugby 187 Gaming. I thought it was a bit crazy people suggesting driver issues caused that. Firmware maybe, but not likely with drivers. So this is why we were a little skeptical on it, but the only thing we could possibly pin it to maybe would be like something to do with like voltage regulation through the driver. Clearly, we were all wrong anyway. Well, except for Jerry, because he called it on the mining issues. But yeah, um, guys, I want to do it.
Yeah,
can,
look it up, man.
can we get into like this? We got to talk
You're
about
gonna
Returnal. We got to do it.
let's go.
So I've got the trailer here and everything. It's got to happen. So if you guys didn't see the Returnal port, which was announced last month, it now has a release date of February 15th next month, which is pretty crazy. It's quite a quick turnaround. I wasn't expecting it for quite a while, really, because the Last of Us PC port is coming out the start of March. So I was quite surprised that they finally come out and said that they're going to be bringing this out before then, like only like 2 weeks before. And yeah, this is literally my most hyped game of the year. Even though it's already been out on PlayStation, I've been so keen to play this game. It's unreal. The
Yeah.
whole reason
It's-
I want to play this. No, the whole reason I played Hades that of a roguelike was because I couldn't play this. And the amount I got on with Hades makes me think I'm going to absolutely love this game. And it seems like a lot of other people are, because it seems like a really good title to play on PC, especially. So I'm very excited for it. Did you have you seen this trailer yet, Jerry? Or is this your first
No, I
time?
didn't. I knew how hyped you were for it, so I
Hmm.
just didn't want to see it at all.
But yeah, it's got all the bells and whistles you'd expect from a
Yeah,
from
ray
a
tracing, Dolby Atmos. Let's go.
yep, ray tracing, DLSS, FSR support. So all the
Nice.
stuff that you need for a
XS.
successful piece of port. I didn't see if it had XCSS. Did it say that? I can't remember.
I don't know. I didn't see it either, but I'm sure.
I don't know, but yeah, it's a very exciting time for being a PC gamer. There's so many games coming out this year that I'm finding crazy because we've also got Dead Space remake coming up in a couple of days now.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to reviews on that. The Last of Us on PC. Have you been seeing all the discourse regarding Forspoken?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that actually. I was gonna bring that up to you to ask you what you thought of that game.
Yeah, doesn't seem like something I would play personally. But the main bit of discourse regarding it seems more like about the actual dialogue and writing
Yeah.
for the game, which from what I've listened to, I kind of it kind of goes over my head a little bit. Um, but
I
then
saw
again,
someone they described it as like Marvel dialogue. That if you like the Marvel films, it's pretty much how it is. So I was like, I could kind of see that.
I don't know, but there's something really weird, because all the stuff I've seen, it's got the actual dialogue, and then there's nothing in the background, and it sounds really strange. But
Yeah.
I don't know, it's not really doing anything for me if I'm being totally honest.
Mm.
More so in regards to the actual game itself, it doesn't really appeal to me that much. I initially thought there was an Unreal Engine demo which PlayStation put out a couple of years ago now. I kept mixing it up with that, but I think that was literally just a demo. It wasn't actually a game in itself.
Gameplay dim. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I gotta be honest, and it seems like a lot of critics are quite divided on it anyway. Was it something you would think about picking up at some point to play?
Nah, not really. And then
No.
something else I saw about the dialogue too. I guess there's a setting where you could like tone down
Hmm.
the dialogue.
I saw that. They're like, oh, it's like the level of banter you can have in the game.
Yeah. And
Um,
I was like, well, if you got to do that, then there might be something wrong with the your dialogue.
I would say that's not a good sign. But then also,
Yeah.
that's a game I've picked up, but I haven't properly played it yet. Was High on Life, the Justin Roiland one. And obviously that's the one with the guns that talk to you and
Yeah.
constantly just talk absolute bollocks, essentially.
Yeah.
Um,
The Rick
and
and Morty game pretty much.
yeah, exactly. So they've got that same setting, so you can turn down the actual level of dialogue coming from your gun. But I can
Yeah.
understand it in there because that's quite that's a bit more.
Yeah, if
I
it's
don't know.
literally your gun, yeah, there might
Yeah.
be a little more.
Um,
Yeah, do you hear what's going on with that guy?
I'm gonna be completely butchered with this, but was there something about a domestic uh assault charge?
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that and then like he was texting like an underage person. Pretty cringy stuff.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, he kind of sounded like Morty in the text too. It's kind of weird. It's just yeah, so I don't
Oh,
know what's gonna happen with Rick and Morty from here on out or Raunchy. What is it? Not Raunchy, Staunchy Games.
Squanch Games is
Mm.
well. From the half hour I played a High on
Launch,
Life, I thought it was
yeah.
pretty good, but maybe we'll have to revisit that as we find out more about what's going on with Justin Roiland.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you better pass it before it gets canceled.
yeah. Well, I've already paid for it, so surely they can't take it away from me, you know. But
I don't know. I'm sure there's somewhere in that user agreement that they could terminate services anytime they want.
well, let's hope that's not the case. But
Yeah.
Rugby 187 Gaming, well, looking forward to playing Returnal on PC. Damn right. You know what I find crazy is the fact, like I was saying now, the one of the first topics I ever done on TechFlashback back on literally in episode 1 was about
Yeah.
the GeForce Now leak, which nowadays is considered the most infamous gaming leak ever, besides GTA 6 when that leaked.
Yeah, that was
and
crazy.
like it was like God of War, Spider Man. I can't remember if The Last of Us was on there or not, but Returnal was on there, and I was like, damn, I hope that comes out soon. And what's it like? Nearly
Yeah.
2 years later, I'm like, yes, it's fine. It's finally here. And it's so good that they announced the date, and I was like, I already have that week booked off from work. It
Nice.
was like it was destined to be, you know.
Yeah. Sure.
but um,
Whatever you.
but it's also
Uh,
the day after Valentine's Day, but then it's also my fiance's birthday a couple of days after. So like priorities,
yeah. My birthday's the week before,
Oh,
maybe.
what date?
February 5th,
Sorry
and
if
then my
sorry
dog.
if I just doxed you by like revealing your birthday on like
No,
the
that's
chat.
fine. It's cool, right? And my
Well,
dog's birthday's on the 6th, and then my wife's is on the 8th.
oh wow, so it's
So
a busy month for birthdays then.
yeah. Normally that's when we go vacation somewhere. I'll take one of my
Oh,
vacations on our birthdays, and then this year, well, I just got married last year, so kind of saving money again. So
oh,
not going
that's
to
fair.
vacation. We I made a reservation. We're gonna eat at a steak buffet. It's a Brazilian grill, but it's like a
Oh,
steak
okay,
buffet. So some friends and stuff. Yeah, it should be cool.
nice. Sounds good. I'll make sure to wish you happy birthday on the day as well, though. So what was the date
Okay.
again? I'm
It's
gonna
gonna be on
remember
a
this.
Sunday,
Sunday
February 5th.
the 5th. I'm gonna write this down. I don't want to
Uh,
be that guy. Like, come on, like you gotta wish you a happy birthday on your birthday. Am I right? Write down now. Just so I know. Jerry B Day. Got it. I'll
yeah,
be
so
sure to
hopefully
send
The
you
Last
a.
of Us is
What's that?
that has a good I said hopefully The Last of Us has a good episode that day.
And make it an even better birthday. We also got Tech Lab in the chat. Oi, oi. We were just talking about you. So, like, going back to like the previous topic a little bit, we were just chatting about Intel Arc driver support. So, how has driver support been over the past couple of weeks? As it's been. When did Arc come out? I can't even remember now. It was sometime towards
October.
the end of the year. Yeah, October. I think that was it. Yeah, so we're trying to gauge on how well driver support has matured since then. So if you got
And
anything to tell us about it, it'd be handy to know.
the Ace Predator went down in price too, which is nice.
Hmm. What's that going for
Hey,
now?
someone well, I'll talk about it in a later on in the episode.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Easier,
uh,
easier.
we got someone new in the chat. We got Joel Kevin Mamani Franco. I hope I didn't butcher your name, but
Jeez.
hello. Well, nice to see you stopping by and hanging out with us. But yeah, back to the topic at hand, though. So for Returnal, I'm so primed for this game, literally, and I'm really excited not only to play it but also to do a bit of coverage on it myself, anyway. And I'm not sure if you're like this, Jerry, or anyone else in the chat that has their own channel. And like the way I keep track of video ideas is I've literally got a note on my phone, and I'll add some in like so like 6950 XT overclocking video. It's like something I've got coming this week. And it's just the most mundane stuff, just anything I think of, I'll just jot it down. And I guess the Returnal is an absolute ton of stuff, like I want to do this. Loads of
Nice.
videos, but I was like,
Yeah.
obviously can't do every single thing on there, but like, I'm excited to do some videos on it as well. Try it out on Steam Deck. That's going to be pretty fun to get into. But I think what I'm going to be going for is like a bit like the one I did for Callisto Protocol. We're playing the game without a GPU. That'd be pretty interesting. And also, I don't know if you saw, remember there was the whole thing going on with the 32 gigabytes of memory they were recommending? Um, they actually dropped that, so they did drop it down to
Okay.
16 gigs. So I don't know why they changed their minds on it, unless it was because of the backlash. But surely it would have
Yeah.
been a reason they would have recommended it in the first place. So,
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, unless they optimized it a little better, but that's kind of odd.
but the only reason I can think of that is maybe for the fact that it's got like, it's a lot of the rooms that you enter, they load quite quickly. So I don't know if that's like more dependent on like what kind of SSD you're using. Because obviously the SSD for the PlayStation 5 is custom
Gen
designed,
4.
Gen 4 as well. So I don't know if they were trying to like put some of that like task towards memory allocation. I don't know, I'm not 100% sure, but that's what
Uh,
I thought. But because then they've dropped it, maybe they've just realized it's not as necessary as they expected. But obviously, they do recommend a. I don't know if they specified the PCIe speed, but it does say at least a PCIe SSD. Um, so maybe that'll be, but like I'll be testing it on an iGPU with a SATA SSD. So maybe that'll be
yeah.
interesting to check out and seeing how well it performs. Um, but yeah, I'm so excited. I'm gonna do a live stream as well, so I'll play a bit of it on the channel. I don't game often on live streams on the actual YouTube channel. If I'm gonna stream a game, I usually on Twitch. But I feel like the amount that I've like gone on about this game on TechFlashback since like forever, probably
Yeah.
since you've been on the show, Jerry. I've just that game's popped up the most. So I thought it'd be cool to do a stream of that, and yeah, just really excited to give it a go. I know I might know the answer to this, Jerry, but like I need to know. Not day one, but like, do you think you'd
Nope.
pick it up at some point?
Depends how depends how the gameplay looks like when I see you playing it. If it looks pretty dope, then I'll get it on sale eventually.
Okay, so I've got to try and like hype it up for you on stream when you see
Yes.
me play.
Yeah, you've been hyping it up for a whole year already, so it should be pretty good. Sony, they make pretty good first party games anyway, so we'll see.
It's a bit of a weird one because I think a lot of people are trying to like get into the sort of thing that for Sony games, especially like so, use like God of War for example, The Last of Us, Uncharted. A lot of it is like walk to a specific moment, fight sequence, escort a character. That is basically God of
Yeah.
War and The Last of Us, Uncharted essentially. So for them to do a game like Returnal is really far afield because it's a bullet hell roguelike shooter, which is really niche. I would expect anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
but they are Japanese company, right?
uh, well, the developers for Returnal. Oh, you're just referring
Well,
to
and
Sony
Sony.
in general. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
and they have a big market over there, so maybe they figured that would appeal to them.
yeah, it could have been that, but like, it's not something I would have seen them like push out as like a first party exclusive, especially.
Yeah. Well,
But
Spider-Man, I didn't really see them coming out with either, and
I was so
they did.
surprised to see Spider Man come to PC though.
Yeah, that was crazy too.
But like, a lot of the games. So Sony is really relentless on the PC port front nowadays, though. Um, the last like year or two, especially, um,
Yeah.
they did have some rough starts. Like Horizon Zero Dawn was a little rough when that came out first, but runs great now. But I think they've had a pretty. This is why I'm quite optimistic for performance because they've had a pretty solid track record for quite some time now. God of War ran great on day one. Days Gone run really well. Um, Spider Man was great. I don't remember if there's any. Well, there was a bit of an issue with CPU overhead on that, with a lot of people reporting like high CPU usage for that game. But
Makes
like,
sense though. It's any open world game's gonna
yeah.
be demanding on your CPU.
So
What you fight
it makes me
you fight it all
optimistic
over
for
the
the
place.
next like ones for like Returnal and Last of Us though. Um,
Are you gonna try Returnal with the ray tracing on?
yeah, I'll give it a
Since
go.
you have,
So for the specs, I should probably pull them
are you
up.
gonna play it? Are you gonna play it in 4K or in 1440p?
Um, I gotta be honest, it's probably a game I'd really like to play mouse and keyboard, so I'll probably play it on my main system, which uses a 1440p, 144 hertz monitor. But
Okay.
if I wanted to, I could switch it up and play it on my HTPC in 4K just to see what it's like.
Uh, Look
So
at you.
you know, you got to try out these things, like test everything out.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, and if you're streaming too, then it has to be on your PC, right? Like
yeah, there's that
your,
as
your
well.
desk.
But like the specs, if I pull them up, I know at least for if I just pull up the Steam page for it.
You know, it's a good way to
Ah,
convince me to buy a game too.
what's that?
If it has a benchmarking mode.
Oh, I'd be curious if it does. That I'd probably use it for all my benchmarks. Then it'd be great.
Yeah, because
Uh,
if it doesn't, it's just so time consuming. Especially when you have to test out DLSS, FSR, XS,
oh, I
and
know.
then ray tracing. and then all those with ray tracing, without ray tracing, it
Yeah.
takes time.
Um, but I've got the not the benchmarks, the specs on here now. So what I'm going by, thinking that it's gonna be quite good for me to play at 1440p with my 6950 XT, is the fact that that's what they recommend for 4K 60 FPS epic settings, which includes ray tracing, I would imagine. Oh yeah, it does say on here. It says that includes ray tracing. So if it recommends a 6950 XT for ray tracing 4K 60, 1440p should probably be pretty fine with ray tracing enabled. I'll see how it is. You know me, I'll probably just turn it off if I can't be bothered with the performance loss.
Yeah.
But no, I'm curious to see what it's gonna be like on the really low end, like running on like an iGPU on the Steam Deck. Seems fairly reasonable. 6700 XT for 1080p 60. What do you think about that?
For what was that? The minimum?
So I was looking at the recommended ones on here. Oh, if we go from the beginning, so minimum, it recommends a 1060 or an RX 580.
Wow, not even a 1650, huh?
No, not even the most popular GPU on Steam, you know. But for CPU, it recommends either an i5 6400 or a Ryzen 5 1500X.
Jeez. Why are the CPUs so old?
Wow, it's 720p. 720p 60
Yeah.
FPS low settings. So I think you're not looking for too much there. So medium settings 1080p 60 recommends a 1070 or a 5600 XT. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
That's a big
CPU,
jump.
yeah, a little bit. CPU, an i5 8400 or a Ryzen 5 2600. Okay. I'd like to know the justification for some of these like specs they put out, because to me it just seems like they're gonna like right bump up 2 cores, go up a skew, just.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They have to be a kind of like very broad in terms of the type of hardware they're targeting, I'm guessing anyway. But so what I was looking at was for 1080p 60 high settings. So that recommends an RTX 2070 Super or an RX 6700 XT. For CPU, it's an 8700 or a Ryzen 7 2700X. Do you still have any 6700 XTs to hand?
Yeah, I got one right here.
You
That's
have.
my cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
It's the Phantom Gaming.
that's the one. Well, potentially, you never know. Maybe you could like check that out, see what that game is like on a 6700 XT, especially considering that's what they
Yeah.
recommend. You know.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
gonna say it's kind of odd that they recommend that and then they recommend a 2070. I feel like the 6700 is quite quite a lot better than the 2070.
yeah, I can't
Maybe.
remember what it would be like compared to it. But like, even if we're just looking at like power efficiency alone, I think the 6700 XT's got it beat there anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's because the 6700 XTs can compete with the 3070 in some games,
Oh, yeah,
depending
that's
on
true.
what
Yeah.
game. So that's why I would. It's kind of odd, but you think if they're recommending like modern GPUs, they would recommend like a 3060 Ti instead of the
Hmm.
2070 or something a little lower, but whatever.
Uh, so this is like a slight tangent again, though. That was on the specs for the Forspoken. They recommended the 4080,
Yeah,
which
nice.
is that's crazy to see a
Yeah,
4080 already. You know
yeah,
a game's not very well optimized when you're recommending a 4080. It's like, and also they weren't handing out PC review codes, which is very
yeah.
suspicious.
That's it. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's very
Yeah, I was gonna
sus.
say I don't know if it's best to recommend a card that people generally didn't like. You know,
Hmm.
that's probably not the best PR move either.
Well, I'd be interested to see what the PC performance is like anyway, because we've only seen reviews from for like PS5 performance especially.
Yeah,
But have to wait and see. But it does annoy me. They kind of skip the recommended settings, not recommended settings, the specs for 1440p. I feel
yeah.
like that's getting glossed over. They just went straight from 1080p to 4K. Um, especially now.
Especially because 1440p I think is like the standard. It should be the standard now.
That's literally just what I was about to say. It's like,
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
no, it's all good. Like that shows how common that like thought is. Like that we're kind of getting out this point where 1080p is like pretty achievable on even low end hardware
Yeah,
nowadays. So maybe
yeah, 1080p
we need to be talking about
60
4040p
frames.
more, basically.
Yeah, 1080p 60 frames was the standard for a while,
Hmm.
but I feel like that should be the minimum now. There should be no.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to do now. But like
Yeah.
skipping past that, so obviously, like I said again, it recommends for 4K 60 FPS ray tracing, either an RTX 3080 Ti or 6950 XT paired with an 11900K. Okay, that's a bit of a random recommendation considering the 11900K wasn't particularly well received, and
Yeah.
you could like if you're going for an 11900K, just get a 10900K instead.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's
they should
it's
just
a
say
better
900.
CPU. Or a 5900X on there then. But for 4K, it recommends
Again,
32 gigabytes of RAM on those.
I, I feel like the comparison between those two CPUs are crazy. I
Yeah,
feel like
11900K or 5900X. You'd
I
definitely
feel
rather
like the
be playing with
5900X
5900X. That's it.
blows it out of the water. Yeah, and they're probably the same price too.
Yeah, I haven't checked on pricing for
Jeez, dude, it's ridiculous.
those.
I have a Z590 here, so I've been looking at the prices.
Oh, that's the one you got paired
And
with a Pentium, isn't it?
yeah. And because I was gonna use it for like a streaming PC, and I can't justify buying a freaking 10900 or 11900 when I could get a brand new CPU for like the same price. It's insane.
Yeah, it is a little much, but I don't know. Maybe like it's better look at the used market at that for that
Yeah.
generation especially. Um, get a decent deal on something. Even if you went like a bit lower, looked at like something like a 10600 non-K,
Yeah.
because you're not particularly concerned with overclocking at that point. And I don't even think what was the chipset you've got for that 500 series motherboard?
Um, what do you mean by chipset?
Was
Is
it
it the
Z590 or?
Yeah, it was the Z590, not the
Oh,
490.
okay. Well, maybe you could like particularly like if you like for a streaming PC, you're probably not caring too much about overclocking anyway, which that chipset does offer. But
Yeah.
even if you went to
And then
something like a 10600 or even like a 10400 in
yeah, I was
that
gonna say
range.
the GPU will mostly be doing all the work anyways if I was to stream with it, because it'd either be the 3070 Ti I'd use to stream with it, or the Acer Predator, the Arc.
Hmm. But at least then, if you had like a semi-reasonable Intel CPU, you could make use of like QuickSync on there as well, perhaps, and at least you got that option there. But
Yeah,
I would go used at that point because, like,
yeah. I'm trying to find it in the trash can.
yeah, just
Haven't
keep a
no luck
lookout.
yet. Yeah, no luck yet.
Because Comet Lake is like, again, I think about 4 years old now, something like that. So you can probably
Yeah,
get 'em relatively cheap used. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, when I see the prices, I'm like, I'd rather just get a cheap B550 and get a freaking 5600 or a
yeah, or 5800X3D, just like
yeah.
that's the go-to nowadays. Okay, so Tech Lab did clarify he was talking about the driver support for Intel at the moment. So driver support seems to be going well. Just did a video on the latest, which got a lot of views. Though I did see that video was proper blowing up for him. At last I looked, it was like 8K views within like 24 hours, which is
Oh yeah.
crazy. So props on that, and like the amount of coverage you've done on Intel Arc anyway. Like people are gonna get a lot of value out of the amount you're putting out about A770.
I'm gonna
So
call you Noah.
oh yeah, I like that joke. But props on the video shooting up as well as it did. That's a good way to go. Seems to be a fix a lot of issues. Seems to fix a lot of issues with older games, and modern ones generally saw a decent increase. So this kind of ties in with what we've discussed quite a lot with the A770 and its issues with specific APIs beyond DX12 and Vulkan. So that's good to see. Was
I
that
have a lot of people. I have a lot of people that comment on my video because I said it doesn't play a lot of older games that
hmm,
well when it first came out, and they're like, "Hey, it's been updated since, and you should really change your opinion or this, they'll tell me something like that." I'm like, well, I'm glad it can play old games now. You know, it's like,
But can they not appreciate that this video is like X
yeah.
amount of months old? So sure,
Well,
like you
yeah.
understand it's not reflective of the time. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's fine. Some of them do say that they're like, oh, hey, since then, or it's just funny though. I'm like, well, I'm glad that a new GPU can play old games. That's good. That's a good step.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. You know.
Yeah, it should just be like that, like automatically. But that's fine. That's cool.
Yeah. Um, Last time I should probably mention as well. Like, I'm plugging your 6950 XT review in my overclocking video because there's a bit I do like the stuff like how to do the overclock and the undervolt, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And I specifically say that I'm testing stuff at my native monitor's resolution, 1440p, just to see the performance improvements, all that stuff. But I do mention if you're after a more dedicated review looking at a range of resolutions and more games, then check out my mate Jerry's review, and then I've linked
Oh,
all
cool.
that just before I let you know. Just you might be surprised, like there's a thing of me in there. There we go.
Oh,
But
nice.
this is great. Literally, if I searched I was talking to you last month. I was like getting some thoughts on the 6950 XT, and as well as talking to yourself, I was like checking out some reviews. So I'm into YouTube and like Red Devil 6950 XT. I was like, oh, first person that pops up is Jerry.
Yeah, I probably do pop up because you follow me and then you comment on my videos and stuff. So
I thought about that, but then what I did was I went into incognito and tried it for there because I know that will jumble the search a little bit, and you still popped
yeah,
up straight away. I was like, oh, nice.
nice, nice, nice. I like to hear that. One video that I made that we talked about it, and I had been wanting to do it for a while, and I just kept putting it off because I was like, this is dumb. Who's gonna want to see this? Was the how to change the RGB on the Red Devil. Surprisingly, a lot of people wanted to know how.
It did pretty
I
well.
was
I saw
like,
it got like over 1K views.
yeah, and I was
Yeah,
just like, all right. I was like, that's hilarious. I was
but
just like, that's
that's
good.
the way it goes though. Like with so
Yeah,
many
I know.
videos,
I know.
it's just like oh, like
And I'm like, should I milk it now and just do it with all my software, like all the GPUs I get? So, because in some of them I do include when I'm like, when I install the GPU in the case, and like, well, you can change the colors through the software here. And then sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. I don't know why, because it just seems kind of obvious sometimes, but I don't know.
but it makes you wonder though, like the amount of things like that. But it's always for a
Yeah,
video you don't expect to like go very far as well.
yeah, exactly. And the Red Devil one, the only reason I did it was because I had like that was a lot of people kept asking me like, how do I change the color? Or they kept asking me like, is red the only color? And
Well,
I
for
was
me
like,
it
no.
is.
Yeah,
I've literally not even touched the software for that card.
yeah.
Like
So
it always happens. But like the things I find now, um, it's a bit weird. My best performing videos nowadays are BIOS update videos. That's
nice.
it. Just like literally, I did a video on the Gigabyte
The
Z690
Z
or
set.
Elite.
Yeah.
So it was a full motherboard like overview like I've done before. It did okay, did it fine. And then I put up like a 3 minute BIOS update QFlash tutorial, and then that blew up instead. I was like,
Nice.
you can't predict it at all on those
Yeah.
ones.
You can't be that you can't be that surprised. The name of this podcast is Tech Flashback, so
You know what would make the podcast even better is if I did a BIOS update midstream.
yeah.
That'd be right then. Maybe that's a
One day.
we'll that'll be a new segment. Maybe we could create like midstream challenges. So like Jerry has to swap out his GPU midstream. I have to do a BIOS update like in between
Yeah.
things for like a freshen
It'll be
up a little
funny
bit.
because my screen will just turn black, and then out of nowhere I'll be like, "All right, I did it."
No, but you like stealthily switch to like Discord on your mobile, and then you're okay.
Yeah.
Like so you can still keep up with what's happening on there.
Oh. Oh,
Like
and congratulations, Tech Lab. I saw that too. I thought that was awesome.
it's good to
Uh,
see.
yeah. Whenever you guys tweet stuff on Twitter, I'll retweet it because any maybe if like people don't see it from my Twitter, but maybe it'll help the algorithm too on there, and someone will click it. Even if it's just one view from Twitter, that's
Yeah.
one view you wouldn't have gotten, and that helps. But
See,
either way,
I have this quarrel with you though, because you don't seem to post your videos as much on Twitter. So then sometimes
Yeah,
I'm like, check out my friend Jerry's video. Here, I'm gonna do a tweet myself.
yeah, I know. It's because, dude, all my traffic is from like Facebook. So, and even then, yeah. I don't know, but my algorithm seems to gotten a lot better now. My videos get a lot more traction a lot faster, but still, I still need to.
Yeah, it's getting it where you can anyway. But yeah, it's like it's good to show the love for like all the friends channels and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Like we're going here. Rugby 187 Gaming. Jerry got all the resolutions covered with his GPU collection. Exactly. If you're looking for like just pick a GPU, any GPU. Jerry's got it there. Uh,
Try.
like what
Did
you
you
need.
vote?
Close your eyes and pick a GPU at random, and we'll see what you pick up.
Did you vote on the 7900 XT and the 4070 Ti?
I did, but I can't remember what I voted for. Let me take a look. I'm curious now. I
Okay.
probably said the 7900 XT.
Okay, that one ended up winning. At first, the 4070 Ti had the lead, and I was that surprised, but
Let's take a
yeah.
look.
I saw an article too saying that Nvidia, since the beginning of the year, has 7 times more searches than AMD, the 7900 XTs. The 4070 Ti did. So,
Ah.
so
Well,
I was
I pulled it up on stream now, so I voted for the 7900 XT. That's what it was on there.
okay. I was kind of hoping that was what was gonna win, just because I've been wanting to see it myself.
That's a
And
pretty big margin as well though, 75%.
and if you want to know, yeah, I was gonna say if you want to know a secret, XFX does really good on my channel.
I've
So
noticed that you've done a lot of XFX cards
yeah, I was
especially.
gonna say it's
So
probably. I was gonna say especially because I've probably done a lot of those too.
no, but it's
Uh,
a particular brand you've stuck to. I've only ever done for AMD cards Red Devil designs. Like
the power color.
I've done 3 videos on Red Devil GPUs. My first proper
Nice.
video was a 5700 XT video, kind of. Um, then 6650 XT and then 6950 XT. So there's that. But I don't know. But I don't look at as many cards as you do though. So that might be the
Yeah,
exception.
I was gonna say I have a little. Yeah, the XFX. Do you know which ones did really good for a while? That helped my channel out a lot were the PNY ones,
Okay.
especially the 3060. Those those helped out my channel for a long time. That carried my channel for a bit. And I think it's because the 3060 PNY was the only one available to purchase like in stock more frequently than other cards, so people were interested in it.
That might have helped then, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why I was like, well, I'll do the 3060 dual fan, I'll do the 3060 Ti. Um that's when I started doing a whole bunch. I was like, if PNY is a popular search term on my channel, then I'll just keep doing PNY.
You'd be
So
alright then.
yeah,
Um,
so normally what I see trending in the month or the 48 hours, I'll try to stick with that brand just to keep that algorithm going.
Not so much for
Um,
GPUs, but I've kind of noticed that a little bit with the. Because I did that build in the Fractal Ridge, and that video's kind of carried off a little bit because the Fractal Ridge only came out like a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe. So
yeah.
it's difficult because obviously it's not very easy for like to get onto certain hardware quite as quick. But like I'm having the same issue with the Fractal North. It's still sold out here, so like I'm waiting. Supposedly it's gonna be in stock next week, so hopefully I can get a hold of it to do a review and a build in it. But like that case came out like a month ago now, so it's kind of like you gotta get it close, especially when you're not getting sampled like us for certain stuff. So it's a bit difficult
Yeah.
then. But no, you've kind of capitalized on it quite well, especially for like specific GPUs, whether it's PMY or XFX anyway. So props to you on it anyway. But you're gonna try and go for the 7900 XT next, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, the XFX Merc.
Oh, okay.
Probably
Uh,
not gonna fit in my case because the 6800 XT Merc didn't even fit, or the 6900.
it didn't fit already, was it? Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I had to move my my radiator forward, so we'll
Nah, you have to go
see.
open air. That's how it'll have
Yeah.
to go.
Hey, did you see that that desk? Not even the desk. What I posted on my Discord? You probably didn't. You know when the substitute teachers would come in and they'd have that like that push cart that has the TV VCR strapped on it?
Oh, okay,
I don't
right.
know if
We're throwing it back quite a long way now, aren't we? So,
yeah, but you know what I'm talking about, right? That little thing
it's when they can't be
that they would
bothered to
push.
teach you a lesson. They're like, right, we're gonna watch a video on
Yeah. Well,
biology.
for us it was always Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Okay, we didn't get that.
Yeah.
It was usually a video from the 1980s about like
Yeah.
how your bodies are changing, all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, or it
okay.
was a substitute teacher. But
Oh,
yeah, they
that
had it for
yeah.
$20. They had it for $20, and I was like, damn, if I had like an actual office, I'd buy that for sure.
See, that's a bit like the one like I don't know if you watch many of Bitwit's videos, but he's got one of those as like a portable benching system on there.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was because I carry my PC from like my office to the living room because my office has or my TV has the 4K, and I don't have a 4K monitor.
Oh,
So
sorry.
I'm lugging this thing around back and forth, you know. And I was like, man, this thing would be a godsend. Just have my PC on here and just freaking walk it around.
That'd be way easier. So you just reminded me
Yeah,
of something that's like completely separate, but like so I was doing the video on the 6950 XT the other day, and I wanted to take the GPU out of my system to get some like the just general B-roll, all that stuff like that.
yeah.
Took my side panel off, and I went to unscrew the GPU, and I was like, it's not even screwed in.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, I've moved the system a couple of times. I was like, that is a big card as well to not be. I was like,
Yeah, yo, no wonder this thing was sagging.
but I was like, well, I've got like there's a sag bracket that is included with the fractal
That comes.
torrent that I've used, so that's been okay
Yeah,
on there. But I was like, how long have I had this card that hasn't even been screwed into my case?
yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Well, it's a good
Yeah,
thing nothing happened to it.
exactly. I was kind of lucky on there. It's a good thing that that PCI Express slot does a lot of work, like locking it into place.
Yeah, yeah. It does a lot of bending, not bending, but adjusting too. It moves up and down quite a bit.
Oh yeah. I do. I'm not a fan of removing the card though, because it nearly blocks up the actual like sort of PCI Express tab.
Oh,
So I have
I
to,
know what you mean
and
when that
usually
happens.
for that I use a chopstick to try and like get in there. So it's not gonna like a chopstick isn't really gonna damage a motherboard,
Yeah.
but the chopstick is too big to fit in now, and that says quite a lot because it's like the very tip of the chopstick. So I have to use like,
Do you know what a pencil is?
do I know what a pencil is?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that would fit either because even that would
Well,
be a bit too thick.
yeah. I normally use the mechanical pencil and the eraser. Um, if
I don't think that would
for some,
fit. I have literally
yeah,
got like a it's a little wooden like fork. I don't know why
yeah,
I have it. I just found it in my drawer of cutlery, and I was like, that'll
yeah.
fit, and it's literally like 1 or 2 millimeters thick, and that just
Okay.
about fits. And then I can remove the
So,
card
so you get
unless I unscrew the M.2 heatsink.
so
That's how
you want me
tight it
to
is on
get
it.
toddler utensils.
Yeah, use toddler utensils when you're working on your PC. That's the best way to go.
Yeah, well, dude, I'm so used to taking GPUs in and out of this thing. It's not even it's like automatic. So unplug the PCIe connectors, take off the screws, take off the cords. Well, obviously, turn off my PC before, but
It's probably a bit easier when you got an all-in-one installed as well.
oh yeah,
Because I've got a tower cooler on mine,
a
and that
big
makes it a
old
little bit more
tower. Yeah,
challenge. Yeah. Not the biggest. It's not like a an NHD 15 by any stretch, but it's still quite. It's a bit bulky anyway, and it can get in the way.
hey,
But
size doesn't matter all the time, bro.
I know that's what it is. Um, right, let's probably catch up on the chat because we got some stuff on here. So what we got on here? You see my last one, lol. Okay, so I think he's referring to the video on there. No idea what's going on there. Nearly 16K. That is pretty good going, especially for a video that's been out for like less than a week. And like channels our size,
Oh
so
yeah,
like that's really good going. And I'm pretty sure that he's nearly going. I think he's like nearing 2K subs now. So like,
oh yeah.
if you guys haven't been on Lab's channel, like make sure to go in there and give him some love and give him a sub. I'm pretty sure he's gonna hit 2K like any day now. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
And you're hitting up 1K very shortly as well. You're nearly there. So sub
Almost.
to all the guys. Get us all to our milestones that we want to see. Fenor Noldor. I hope I'm getting that name right. Ahoy, hi there, chaps. I hope you're both
Hold on.
well today. Hold on. Yeah. Nice to see you stopping by. I hope I haven't butchered your name there, but again, we got quite a few new people in the chat. It's nice to see everyone stopping in and saying hello, isn't it, Jerry?
Yeah. Have you been on Welsh Tech's Discord?
I pop on, like, yeah, I've seen it on there. What's that?
Oh, dude, I don't have like any permission to like post on, or whenever I post something, I do have permission to post, but it like gets deleted instantly, or I can't see anyone's
Oh,
stuff
okay.
or anything. So I ended up leaving
Oh, okay.
because yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd post up a video and then like I'd click out of the channel and then I'd click back into it and it'd be blank. So I don't know if he has like you can't see the history or something on or something from the role.
I'm not sure. I know for me, I'm not, like, I know very little about Discord, so I'm not as active as I could be on there. So I'm only particularly active in my Discord server because it's my one, kind of. So I should be in there a bit, and then obviously I'm in yours every now and again as well, Jerry. Because obviously, co-host, you got to show some love in there as well. But like,
Yeah.
it's difficult to keep up. I struggle to get into it as much, like to keep active in there, but I do try. So I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have seen anything particular for Welshies on there. So you can't
Yeah.
post.
Well,
Let me take a look
yeah,
at
that
this.
just popped in my head because I was gonna tell Tech Lab, feel free to post in my Discord anytime you want to show your videos, or any of you guys if that make videos or whatever, you know,
That's
maybe it'll
strange.
help.
I
Like I
can't.
said,
I can't find Welshies uh, Discord server anymore.
oh,
Maybe I got booted out. um, am I going crazy? So I got. I'm not in many Discord servers, so I can see on here the ones I'm in. No, it's gone.
ah,
Maybe he deleted the server. I don't know. Maybe we need to get in touch with Welsh Tech and see what's what's going on, just to see what happened on there. But yeah, Tech Lab just brought up a good point. So he's created what I thought was quite cool, a creators only chat in the Tech Lab UK Discord. So you might want to join up, Jerry. Might be quite handy just to like check out what it's like in there. Yeah, so he's put it much better than I did it then. So he said, Jerry, you need to join the Tech Lab UK Discord. We are gathering up some smaller creators in a couple of channels to network and help each other out. So,
oh, he big timed me, huh? I invited him to my Discord and he's like, no,
uh,
no, no, you join mine. No, yeah, okay, I'll check it out.
it's like that thing, like where people like jump into streams and like, oh, come check out my stream. It's like,
Yeah,
why are you saying that in my stream?
yeah, and I was like, all right, well,
um,
nice.
what we got? So, Thing on Older, do you guys adopt the philosophy of if it ain't broke, don't fix it in regards to MOBO BIOS updates?
Yes.
That's a really good question. So you go first,
So there's
Jerry. I want to hear what you want to say.
so here's my philosophy. Update your BIOS, but I don't really get updates a lot when there's a update from my BIOS. Like I don't get no notifications or anything. So I really don't
Hmm.
update my BIOS until like I finally see that there's a update available.
Okay.
But like you said, if it ain't broke, then don't fix it. Unless there's a specific feature that comes out with a new update, then
Yeah.
probably do that if you want that feature. But I normally do when I eventually find out that I'm like 6 months behind or a year behind. I'm like, oh dang.
Right. Okay. So if I can be honest, I only update the BIOS if I'm swapping a CPU and I need a BIOS update to support that CPU. Unless, like Jerry said, there is like a very particular benefit to updating. Um, but no, I don't update very often, which is quite funny considering the amount of BIOS update videos I do.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though. Like, I understand there are certain benefits to updating your BIOS quite frequently because obviously there's like improvements, especially in terms of like stuff like memory compatibility and there's ones like load times, especially for like your system boot in and all stuff like that. Um, but like I'm a bit of a risk averse kind of person,
I know what
and
you
if
mean.
my
Stability is
system
key.
exactly if your system is working fine, it's doing everything you want. I don't see any reason to particularly update unless you want to support a new CPU, or there is a particular feature, or you are having issues, like say there is like some instability, like say for example you've got a really fast kit of memory that you want to be able to use at its full rated speed, but your motherboard won't support it. You're enabling it. So say for example, if I was being quite like limited, so say it was like a kit of 3600 speed memory that you want to run at that rated speed, but your system will only run it at 3200 speed. I've had that happen before. But there has been some issues with like memory compatibility in the BIOS, which could be fixed with a BIOS update. So in that case, I would update. But like, it's I think it's quite difficult to break your system nowadays from a BIOS update, but that risk is still there. And I like
I
that
don't
is
know. As I heard, you could crack your GPUs by updating the drivers.
that's the bigger concern right now. Is if you're like breaking it with driver updates and all stuff like that. But, yeah.
Yeah, so the real
Yeah.
question is, do you update your GPU drivers? Yeah.
That's when people have been worried about the past month, but like I think we're okay now.
Yeah, I guess if you're getting random crashes on your computer and you can't figure out why, maybe go ahead and update it, or a new application or something, like a brand new application that just came out and it's not running or it doesn't want to open or something, maybe update your
Yeah,
motherboard then. But like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
that's it. I think that's literally the best way to put it. So what else we got? So he's popped up a bit more. So I've been sub for a while, Jack. You helped me out heaps selecting my MSI Tomahawk Mobo. I'm in Straya. Good day, mate. I thought I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's pretty stereotypical and racist, I think.
I would say it's that. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, dude.
It's what everyone says, you know. So I'm in Straya, so it's hard to catch a stream, seeing as how you are Poms. Okay, I don't know what Poms means.
Hey, did you read the Prince Harry book?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've literally like it's quite strange because a lot of stuff that's going like this isn't like a very this isn't a very political show or anything like that, but there's a lot of issues in the UK currently with a lot of strikes in regards to like nurses on strike, ambulance drivers on strike, railway workers on strike. Literally, if you're in the public sector, you're on strike most of the time. And then very conveniently, it's like, oh yeah, guys, let's talk about Prince Harry's book.
Yeah.
And like,
Uh,
yeah. But sorry, go on. What was there? Something you've seen in regards to the book, or
so I just found out what Tajr means. You know what that?
that's not something I've ever had to think about.
Yeah, and
just-
it is what I think it is, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then I just found out what wiener means.
That seems like quite an Americanism, though.
Yeah, but not the Tajr kind.
Oh. Well, there's a first for everything, I suppose.
He was talking about a cow.
What?
Yeah, he's talking about a cow. And I think he's Australian, so I think that's Australian slang.
Maybe there's probably some like British mannerisms and like dialect that goes across to Australia as well. I suppose.
Yeah, because I think he was like stationed in Australia or something, or he spent a lot of time in Australia, so.
Oh, maybe that could be that then, I suppose.
Yeah,
But
it's pretty weird book. He goes too detailed. Anyways, but yeah, so I figured out what Tajr means.
well, it's good to learn new things, you know.
Yeah, bro, there was a sentence that was read because someone was like they were like they played clips of the audiobook, and they said like he was riding on his horse looking at a wiener and something, and I was like, what the hell does that mean? And they broke it down and they said what it meant, and I was like, okay, I couldn't figure that out at all. So
So, like, I feel like the time you've been like getting to know me, Jerry, you've learned some more like Britishisms, you know, stuff like that, you know. Like, I do try and like get you into beans on toast, like a typical British staple, but you're just not having any of it at all whatsoever.
dude, on my off time, I'm obviously trying to learn some British culture. Like I said, I figured out what toast means.
I think it's right. I think we had a chat about something the other day, and I threw a ton of like Cockney slang at you.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you were just
I
like,
don't know what
nope, I have no idea what that is. But you're learning. That's the most important thing. Great answer, cheers. Okay, so I think we gave a pretty good answer in regards to our feelings on BIOS updates. So that's okay. That's what we Aussies call the British. I helped you as much as you helped me. There we go, exactly. So he's educated us on what POMs is. I've probably heard it
Oh,
before, but I
okay.
just completely misremembered or something like that.
Why
But
why why are they called poms? Because when I see poms, I think like pom poms, like cheerleaders.
why are British?
And if it's because you guys stand on the sideline cheering, that's hilarious.
Um, I'm gonna figure this out. Australians have been using the word freely since its probable emergence in the late 19th century as a nickname for English immigrants, a short form of pomegranate referring to their ruddy complexions.
All
Okay,
right.
fair enough then.
Yeah. Oh, he
Any
got you back.
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about some tech. I think we've been on quite a tangent for some time. So, Jerry, do you want to talk about some GPUs? I say GPUs, a GPU.
Oh, really? Which GPU are we gonna talk about today?
That would
What's on
be
the agenda?
that would be the RTX 4060 Ti, which is expected to offer RTX 3070 performance for less than $500.
Oh man,
You excited? No?
yeah, kind of. Who was it? Was it Rugby? Graphic on the graphically challenged that tweet, that post. Was that you guys? Were you guys there? No? Yes?
I didn't see
Someone
that.
was. Let me see if I can find the tweet. Well, kind of interesting. So it's pretty much what the headline says, right? Um, I typed in tweet instead of Twitter.
How about you
I
try
was
and find
hoping
that
that.
tweet, and I'll go through a bit of the article just to keep the chat in the
Okay,
loop. So,
review the yeah. I don't like Nvidia apparently, even though I'm
uh,
sponsored by Nvidia, paid off by Nvidia. Nvidia's the best.
yeah. My drivers cite in their sources claim that the upcoming RTX 4060 will cost less than $500. Oh, excuse me, I've drunk too much beer in one go. This would be the cheapest RTX 40 desktop GPU to be released thus far, but still not cheap. Just assuming that the price is closer to the $500, this would mean a considerable price increase for the X60 Ti SKU, since the last gen model was priced at $399. Furthermore, Copite 7 Kimi spilled the beans on this card's performance. It is said that the RTX 4060 Ti would perform similar to the RTX 3070. What is interesting about this claim is that the RTX 3070 launched with a $499 MSRP, but the card still sold at higher price to this day. So, my personal feeling on this is we're seeing like a bit of a weird stagnation in performance to like price to performance, essentially. Um, it's just not getting me excited at all. I think I was talking on the Discord about how uninterested I was in the 4070 Ti, and I think I was just so burnt out at that point. I was just like, I just don't care anymore about just why Nvidia has been so shady and anti-consumer. I don't know. Maybe I'm too jaded now. But like, how any luck finding that tweet?
Yeah, I found it. Do I send you the link or do I just read it?
Why don't you send it to me on Twitter and I can pull it up just to have a look, or you can just read it if you want. It doesn't matter.
I'll let you pull it up. How do I send it to you on Twitter? Share, send via direct message. There,
You're gonna slide into my DMs.
slide into your DMs.
Oh yeah.
So it's a 4060 Ti that is technically 3070, right?
Say again. I was reading the tweet when you said that.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead, read the tweet. It'll pretty much
Okay, so this is from Graphically Challenged. So RTX 4060 Ti delivers 3070 performance for under $500. RTX 3070 delivered 3070 performance for under $500. Right. Okay, I can see that. Okay. Where's Rugby's response?
Oh, it was Tech Lab UK.
Oh, Tech Lab was it? Alright, okay. So I can see on here. So the 3070 was never under $500 in the USA. That's true. That was a card that was particularly attacked by that. Tech Lab UK
And
progress. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know
yeah.
about that. I feel
Oh,
like Steve Harvey right now.
He was being sarcastic.
But yeah, well, so he's popped up in the chat. So what was he saying on here? 4060 Ti is a joke, like the 70, 80, 90 cards. That's the thing. I'm just getting so. I want to see some good budget cards, but they don't exist. At least that's what Jensen said.
Bro,
There's no more anymore.
there's no there's no way this card is gonna be 500 less than $500. 3060 Ti's now are almost $500.
Well, I got my 3060 Ti for £450 before. Well, it was literally on the cusp of
It's
Scalpergeddon, or whatever he called it.
yeah, it's the pandemic.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, or the mining craze. It was the same time. Yeah, they're still like 450. So you're telling me the newer card is gonna be the same price as last year's card? I don't think so, man. Not especially Nvidia.
I don't know. I think we're seeing a lot like this generation, especially. We're seeing quite a difference to like the sort of attitude towards these really anti-consumer releases now. Um, Especially with the 4070 Ti having queues out the door from Micro Center. Well, I saw. I'm being sarcastic
Yeah,
for anyone that doesn't tell. There was about 4 people queued up for the 4070 Ti. But yeah, I was quite surprised for the 7900 XT and XTX. They sold pretty quickly in comparison. But I feel like that buzz that we had, like a lot of people waited a long time for 30 series and RDNA 2. And those people only just fairly recently managed to get those cards. So I feel like a lot of that demand has dwindled. Excuse me. Except for those ones now. So it's difficult to see how people can be that eager for this generation. I would expect it to come back around from next gen, so RTX 5000 series, and I don't know what AMD will call their next gen of GPUs, 8000 series, or like they like to skip stuff every now and again. I don't know,
yeah.
but like
They
maybe
should
because more people upgrade every like two
yeah,
two generations
at
more
least
so.
at minimum usually, unless you're a PC enthusiast.
But then
But
you get the people who just want the flagship, essentially.
yeah.
So that's it anyway.
What if they call this the 4070 and it performs the same as last year's card and it's similar price, but it just has the newer architecture, so it's more efficient and
I hate that Nvidia's made us have to ask this question now. So like since they
See,
were going to release a 4080 12 gigabyte, and then it became a 4070 Ti. It makes you think like, 4060 Ti is coming out. What if it was a 4070? Like, oh,
well, I'm just saying, because it's technically the same card, almost. And obviously, they're gonna stop making the 3070, and you're gonna have to buy 4060 Ti. But it's the same price or more, or the same price or more
I don't know, but I
for the
still
same
think
price.
we're still stuck in that period of like oversupply or like what oversupply.
No
Uh,
demand.
they really ramped up production on 30 series at the wrong time, and now they're stuck with a lot of inventory that they've had to shift. In regards to pricing for the 3060 Ti, I was quite surprised that's still where it was at. Although I don't think the 3060 Ti was as mass produced as the 3060 at that SKU or the 3070. But I remember 3060 Ti has been especially difficult compared to, like I said, either 3060 or 3070.
Ironically, the 3060 Ti was the first card I got of the new generation cards.
Same. Literally, I got one quite close after
Yeah.
launch. But after that, it's been like...
Yeah,
It was very
they didn't make
difficult for
them
a
anymore.
period.
And I actually got a triple fan 3060 Ti, and MSI stopped making the gaming trio in that SKU. So that was pretty
Yeah.
interesting to
I
see.
don't know. But this is like in the
But
midst of like the LHR launches and stuff like that.
yeah,
Do they specify LHR for these new 40 series cards? I didn't think about that.
I think they said they dropped the LHR since crypto mining's dead anyways.
That's it, yeah. And like Nvidia would never support crypto miners by selling directly
Yeah,
to them. No,
that's
no.
yeah, that's true.
It's like
But
that.
yeah,
I don't know what that character is from South Park, but it's when he's like, I'm sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
yeah, it's just funny because I said the 3070 was never under 500 in the USA, which was true because the Founders Edition was $500 and everything else is super high. And the cheapest AIB you could get was like 540. And then it just turned into a crazy tangent like everyone likes to go on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just curious now because I haven't looked at 3070 pricing recently.
Yeah.
So I've pulled up the ones on Scan UK, and they've got lots of 3070s going for over £500 over here. So we've got 3070 stuff, Gaming OC going for £620. And a lot of these in like the mid 500s. What's the cheapest 3070?
Over there?
They're not that cheap. The cheapest one is the Gigabyte Eagle OC, going for £540.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not 500.
it's still above MSRP for
Yeah.
3070. So
And that's not bad for 3070, 540. Well, considering their price, like when you consider their MSRP.
but then how would we
Uh,
be looking for a 4060 Ti that's at like a similar performance level and similar price? And
yeah.
if MSRP is to be believed, is what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
So
um,
exactly, it's not going to be $600. It's going to be the same price as the 3070 or less.
uh, 3060 Ti's, conversely, the cheapest one here I can see is a refurbished model. It's a PNY Virto? I've never heard of that one before. Virto?
Okay.
£394. Even that's like,
Is that one like the non-RGB, just all black?
yeah, pretty much. And like, even though I'm not into RGB, I can understand it is a particular value add-on, and it's something people do like to
Yeah.
see featured. So it's a pretty bare bones looking, cooler
I
design,
I
all things
think
considered.
I think that one was called the Uprising over here in the States.
Well, it might have a different name then, perhaps. I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure, but they've got a couple of other ones. So again, a lot of these
No,
are more than what I spent on a 3060 Ti 2 years ago this month, actually. Yeah.
no, it's a different one I'm thinking of.
Do they have the one I have? Gaming
Yeah.
XC? No, they don't stock that. I refuse to sell that card because it's an EVGA GPU. I just like I'm gonna keep it for as long as I can.
Yeah, I have
Uh,
my EVGA as well that's gonna stay with me. My 3070 Ti.
yeah. Do you think
Oh
do you
man.
think you'll part ways with that card?
Nah, it's
You
the
just
last of
it's
its
too
kind.
it's got too much nostalgia factor to it now for any
And I paid too
EVGA
much for
cards
it.
and that as well.
Yeah. So,
Speaking of EVGA, did you see like their sort of their farewell video they did with GN where
yeah,
the
with Gamers Nexus.
that's it, yeah. Did you see that video?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, where they were trying to overclock beat the time was it Time Spy or Fire Strike?
I can't remember what they were using, but it was more like it was especially because it was like the sort of like unreleased EVGA
4090?
4090s they were using.
Yeah.
And rather than like it being like Gigabyte or PNY or any of the other ones that have like a lot of selection for their like decent PCBs and like decent dies, they had three. They're like
Yeah.
they killed one. It was like, but the actual repair center they go to is crazy because they literally desocket the GPU, repaired it, and like swapped it with a better PCB with a better VRM, and it was like they just gave back to
Yeah.
that guy. I was like, there you go,
They
keep
had
going.
to
I was
go
like,
underground.
that's it, yeah, and that's like
Yeah.
I quite like Kingpin, like not so much like in terms of like his like work GPU wise, but he just seems like a cool guy to hang out with. And
Yeah.
he was on a motorbike going for that underground tunnel. Was it a
Yeah.
motorbike or like a push bike? I can't remember now.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Yeah, and the guy didn't even know that the repair lab was still there.
Oh, the
That
overclocker, Biso, that
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, he thought that they were already they were disbanded.
That was it, yeah. But it's crazy.
Yeah.
They got that record now. If anyone in the chat hasn't seen this video, check it out on Gamers Nexus channel. It's so good, and it makes you think like, damn, it's a loss.
Yeah.
Seeing that those people are no longer going to be working with GPUs on EVGA's side. I'd be interested to see because I try and keep up with some of the stuff Kingpin does from time to time, even though it's way over my head. The
Yeah.
amount of stuff he was doing, like it was even stuff that he was doing direct custom loop with LN2, which is just insane. um, but yeah, it's just what they're going to be doing now because obviously EVGA will have to like cut ties with a lot of these people.
Yeah.
Maybe not Kingpin
Well,
because obviously he's got his work cut out with him with the like they do the EVGA dark motherboards, classifieds. Um, I love that AM4 dark motherboard they had. I
oh
would
yeah, that
love to
was
get it.
nice.
£700.
Yeah, they say they're expensive though, man. They're expensive.
It's very expensive.
Everything's
It's got
expensive.
the two DIMM slots with the socket rotated for like better memory like latency.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful motherboard, but like it's damn expensive. But like I
Yeah.
want to see EVGA
So
still. I want to see them keep doing what they do. But it's gonna be
do you
weird
feel
without
like
them.
do you feel like they were justified in exiting out of the GPU game with all that Nvidia is doing recently? All the everything that has come out since EVGA left?
I feel like they seemed to like anticipate some of the uproar that was going to happen with 40 series, especially.
Yeah.
Um, think about how well they got off with missing out on the whole debacle with the 4080 12 gig getting cancelled, having to rebrand all their cars to 4070 Ti's, which definitely was. I can't. I think it was about a month or two before release, which seems like a while. But if you think about the logistics of doing that, you got to
Yeah.
repackage all of these cards. You've got to go through and do a ton of VBIOS work on the cards themselves. Um,
And then literally physically having to repaint whatever they had it etched on, or if it was LED, having to switch all those plastic cuttings in there.
all
Oh
of that.
man.
That's a lot. That's a lot of work.
And
Um,
that's already on the fact that you're not making as much money on the cards because Nvidia like sells theirs for cheap because they have all the rights to all the parts. So
exactly. And their profit margin just slips like entirely there, and like a lot of that, especially for the 4080 12 gig getting cancelled, would have been reimbursed in some way by Nvidia to AIBs. But still, it's would you?
yeah,
I'd like to be EVGA in that situation. Be like, damn, that's a bullet missed on that. Like, I suppose.
yeah, I know. That's why. And then with this 4060 Ti coming out, the same as the 3070. And then EVGA trying to sell their 3090s, 3090 Ti still that they do have in stock, and then the 4070 Ti is the same. So they'd be trying to sell 3090s and they'd be trying to sell their 4070
But
Ti.
I feel bad for these people that bought a 3090 Ti for like 2,000 plus
Yeah.
dollars, and then a 4090 comes out within less than a year.
Yeah, cheaper too.
You'd be kicking yourself when you were anyway.
A nice card.
Yeah, it was a good card, but like it was like it seems like it's
Yeah.
been short lived. If we're being totally
It was a cash
honest,
grab. It was a cash grab.
yeah, pretty much. And it was kind of also their sort of trial run for like the 4090 in a sense.
Did
But
uh did EVGA make a AM5 motherboard?
not yet, as far as I know.
Mm,
But like they're quite late to the table when it comes to motherboards anyway.
yeah.
I don't even know if they've got a 700 series Intel board out yet. Have they got one? They
I'm not
might
too
do.
sure.
I know for the AM4 one, it was particularly special because that was their first ever AMD motherboard.
AMD. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
no, and it was nice.
they got a
Yeah, I don't
Z790
think
Dark. Oh, they do.
790. That's Intel, right?
Z790, yeah. So we
Yeah.
go on here. $800. So that's not very far off the AM4 one, anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
But
but
yeah, I
you're not going to
mean,
get any use out of this unless you need all like the PCI bandwidth possible, the overclocking features for it. Um,
I've been I've been thinking about getting a new AM5 CPU, but I'm waiting on those to release. And then I'm also wanting to see what motherboard I'm gonna get with it. So that's why I was curious if
would you stick to like the Game& Tough lineup?
I'll probably go with the ROG Strix.
Oh, okay.
Um, we'll see. It's just 'cause why not? But I don't know, it's like $500 for the freaking motherboard, dude.
Well,
Cheapest ROG Strix.
we can get into some CPUs and motherboards right now if you like for our final topic. But before we do, let's just close out the well, not close out, but just to catch up on the chat. So Fina Nolder, gentleman here, why can't they just price their cards accordingly? Aim for price to performance. It just proves you don't need a long neck to be a goose, in my opinion. Well, the thing is, I think a lot of people prove that they can price these cards way more than what they should be at, which is what they've learned over the last 2 years. And a lot of people have been desperate to get hardware. And the thing is, if you're going off the cycle thinking, a lot of people will skip like 2 generations, or skip a generation at least, and then they'll go for what's out next. A lot of people missed out on that hype when it came to RTX 30 series and RDNA 2. And they kind of paid the price by paying more than what they should have. But Nvidia feels they can still charge those prices even today without those high demands that people had back then, as well as mining being a factor, because crypto has basically gone the way of the dodo as of now. Of course, it could come back in the next couple of years, as we
It's
saw, because
say
it's not the first time,
it
So I
looks
think
like it's slowly coming back.
the only way we can not pay these prices is just don't buy. That's easier said than done for a lot of people. So
Yes, sir.
it is what it is. But let's change from GPUs and talk about CPUs. And especially because, I'm quite keen to hear your thoughts as someone who is looking to invest in the AM5 platform. And this is a two-parter, so let's take a little look. AMD Ryzen 7000 X3D CPUs with 3D V cache are unlocked for overclocking. Unlocked.
When did this release, this update?
This article was today. Okay, this is 3 a.m. EST. I'm not quite sure what time zone that is, but it's an article from today. So basically, this article highlighted on here, if we take a little scroll down. Okay, it's actually
What?
updated on the article as well. It's shown on here, but basically,
Oh, okay. I
there
was gonna say that'd be like 8
was.
in the morning where you are.
Well, if you look at this on here now, so the actual specs page for the 7950X3D shows unlocked for overclocking. Yes. But if we go off of an article that we found later on today, is that this is the one that Jerry sent me on here now. So I think AMD needs to stop letting interns update its upcoming CPU info pages. I thought it was a great headline.
Yeah.
So not only did they cock up the Valentine's Day release date for the X3D CPUs, but also some guy thought you could overclock an X3D CPU. Which in my mind, I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, really? But wasn't that a big issue with the 5800X 3D not being able to overclock? Like the voltage had to be very specific for those 3D V cache chips. And yeah, seems that was the case. So AMD's best gaming CPUs ever are coming out on February 14th. Oh wait, no, that was a mistake. But good news, the new 3D V cache chips are inexplicably going to support overclocking. Oh wait, no, that was also a mistake.
And it was on all three of the chips, the 7000 X3D chips that showed that they were available for overclocking.
So what are they doing? It's 7950X3D, 7900X3D, 7800X3D. Is that it?
Yeah, 7950,
Yeah.
79. Okay, you're good. You're good.
So it's everything besides the 6 cores and under. Well, we don't have any quad core AM5 CPUs yet
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah. But yeah, so what's going on with AMD? They seem to be having a bit of a mix up in regards to what they're doing for this 3D Vcache launch. So if we say before you saw this confirmation that this was a mistake, what was your
Oh,
initial
you mean when I
impressions
saw it?
yeah, what was your
I did.
initial impressions about the overclocking being enabled?
Dude, I was so happy because even though technically I'm not the biggest overclocker,
But then
I
you
just
stop and think but they didn't have this on the 5800X 3D. Why now? You know?
yeah, well, I didn't say why now. I just figured that they found a way to do it. They found a way to keep it stable and to overclock. I was like, that's cool. I was like, that's a bigger selling point for this because some people were a little skeptical on these just because it said it doesn't get too much of a performance lift compared to the non-X 3Ds.
Right.
So some people were already on the fence about them. So I was like, this will probably help people lean towards getting these CPUs more, just because why not?
Yeah.
Overclocking is good. especially when people want to get these for performance. And so I was happy because I was like, hell yeah, this is sick. Let me share this with PC Jack. And well, I
Hours
sent it
later,
to
he's
you.
like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
For like, well, Rugby Game is just saying on here now. So I think they're unlocked for PBO, Curve Optimizer, and RAM and Infinity Fabric OC. Maybe not so much for CPU Core OC. Yeah. So obviously for those who would have it, but I think that was one of the things that cropped up with the for 5800X 3D especially was more so the thing on there where you could potentially get away with some BCLK overclocking, but even now is fairly limited depending how well binned yours was. But
And then I think you had to have a special motherboard too to be able to do that. I don't
I
think it was
thought
a
that was on
available
Intel
on
because there
all.
was a thing for Intel non-K overclocking using BCLK clock overclocking. There was it was the MSI Mortar, I think. Um,
Sounds expensive.
Potentially, but I think this one's shipped out especially like just the basic B560, not B550, B660 rather. I could be incorrect on that though, but I think that was it. But I would guess maybe that's why they did this on the spec page was some intern saw this and said, "Oh yeah, you can use precision boost overdrive, curve optimizer. That's overclocking. Boom.
Yeah,
It's confirmed." But to someone who's like thinks about manual overclocking, like as we would know,
yeah,
like
for
changing
some
your
nerds.
multiplier, yeah, as nerds, we would think, oh, you can overclock it now. So it's been very quickly dismissed as false information.
Debunked.
Debunked. It's exactly that. So it's a little disappointing, but also it kind of like
Yeah.
caught me. I was like, well, I didn't think that was possible in the first place anyway, because I know those the stacked 3D V cache is particularly sensitive to increased voltages. I think that was the justification for the 5800X 3D.
But
But
then
yeah,
you remember when AMD came out with the Smart Access memory, all of a sudden Intel came or Nvidia came out with the resizable bar too.
straight
So
away.
hey, we got that feature. Yeah, we got that feature too. So with the Intel CPU, so I just figured, well, you'd never know. Maybe they're able to crack something up in the kitchen real quick.
Could have been
So
that particularly.
yeah.
But like, I do apologize. What I'm gonna have to do, if you keep the stream going for a second talking about 3D V cache, I'm desperate to go to the bathroom. So give me 2 minutes and I'll be right
Okay.
back. You keep it going.
No problem, man. Yeah, so this was pretty much gonna help seal the deal for me to get the new X3D. I'm probably leaning towards that as well, but I'm not too sure yet. I think the best thing to do if you are looking to get either the new Intel chips or the new AMD chips, go the direction that I'm gonna go and just go ahead and get the DDR5 RAM when on sale, because you can get a Z790 anyways, or you can get the X3D chips and the DDR5 RAM would work on there anyways. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited about this card, even if it's or this chip, even though it doesn't have the overclocking on it? I don't know if you guys saw this on time, or I don't know if you guys saw the debunking of it, which one you saw first, but it was a major blow. It would have been nice to see this. Did you believe it was real? Did you guys believe it was fake? Let me know. And then do you guys overclock your CPUs? That's something that's interesting as well. Since I have the 5800X, I just have PBO on since it pretty much overclocks it pretty well whenever I'm playing the game. It boosts up the cores anyways, so I'm not really tripping too much. But we are PC enthusiasts, so I could see why you guys like overclocking your GPUs. I think rugby. Nah, I don't know if I'm thinking about the right person. I say, didn't you get a 6600? And that thing was a beast. You overclocked it, and that thing was a beast. So it never hurts. People also like undervolting their cards too, and getting better. Is it the 4070 Ti or the 4080 where you undervolt it and you get similar performance, but you save so much energy and for almost the same performance, same frames is good. But I don't know. I don't know. I hope EVGA 2 makes that a motherboard. I don't know. I think that's so expensive. $500, $300 for a motherboard is insane. I'm not looking forward to that. I The Tough Gaming I think is like 350 over here in the States. And the cheapest X670 motherboard I found was a ASRock Pro. And even then I don't know, it was 270. It didn't have all the bells and whistles either. So I really want to upgrade, but I'm trying to wait till I find them on sale. And I'll probably save the money till I'm not too sure when they're gonna come out, but I'll be saving my money and try to snag a deal when I can. But I'm not looking forward to paying $500 for a motherboard. That seems insane to me. When I
Apologies
can
for
get a
that.
port. No, that's fine. I could pay $500 for a motherboard, or I could pay $500 for a 4060 Ti.
So what is the current plan for what you you're considering for an upgrade?
uh, I just told them that I'm for sure gonna get the DDR5 RAM first,
Okay, that seems
because
like a good idea because pricing is really good on those at the moment.
yeah, pricing's cheap, and then like I said, I can use the DDR5 RAM for either Intel or AMD.
That's true. Yeah.
So you can't really go wrong there. And then, well, see which one I'm gonna like more, and then hopefully try to get the motherboard on sale if it ever drops, and try to get a CPU on sale as I save money. So we'll see, or a bundle deal or something. Maybe I could get the motherboard and CPU bundled, $50 off, $100 off. Who knows?
Do you get anywhere it's like the full, well, not the full package, but like CPU, motherboard, and memory bundles? Are those quite popular around by you?
Usually on Newegg it's like
Just
two
two.
things.
Okay.
Yeah. And if I get the RAM first anyways, then I wouldn't really need a RAM bundle. Well, if it's the same RAM, I guess I could just get more memory.
Maybe, but even like we saw a couple of weeks ago, like even DDR5 pricing isn't that bad, so you could still
Yeah.
potentially get a good bundle on CPU and motherboard, and get the memory after the fact for like we saw a decent 5600 speed kit for like 130, £140, and I think it was
Yeah.
near enough the same for you guys as well, pricing wise. But I would definitely say that would be a good shout to go for DDR5. I've kind of regretted not going for a DDR5 motherboard nowadays, but like because I've got quite a lot of DDR4 memory anyway, it's not too bad. But if I was to go outright and go for a new upgrade, it would be DDR5 now. So I think we're at
Yeah.
that point where it is justifiable to go for that. But
And then Rugby 187 answered my question. I asked if do you guys overclock your CPUs, and he said I get better overclock on my 5900X using PBO curve optimizer and undervolt than when I manual overclock, so not too fussed if new X3Ds don't do full manual overclock. Like I said too, I don't do manual overclock on mine, with PBO pretty much getting the best performance it can
that's
out
the
of
thing,
whatever
isn't it?
application.
Because like
Yeah.
they've got it so well binned out of the box to boost as high as possible and for as long as possible that you're kind of like very limited in the gains you can get with a manual OC.
Yeah.
It's a little different. Like, it's a little different for Intel depending on what like specific series you're going for. One of the next videos I'm gonna be working on is specifically aimed at overclocking and undervolting on 13th gen because I haven't touched anything for my 13700K yet.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting to see. But I do know it is very. Looking back on my 5600X overclocking, I did quite a bit of. It was very minimal, and for just increased power draw, increased thermals, it kind of seemed limited in like the proposition to like increase the power draw, increase thermals, and get like single digit performance gains. It's not quite the way you wanted to see it at the moment right now, but like it's the way it's been going for overclocking for a while now.
Yeah.
GPU overclocking, I still think is great way to go, depending on what GPU you have. My 3060 Ti overclocked like a beast. It did really well.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I shouldn't spoil the upcoming video for Thursday, but like I have mixed opinions on overclocking on the 6950
On
XT.
AMD. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say something too, but I guess we'll leave it. We'll leave it. We'll leave it there, huh?
Well,
I feel like it's a good way to end it.
I suppose yeah, it's alright. But like yeah, I would tune in for the video to see like my overall thoughts. But undervolting is where it gets more interesting. I think it is. So we got Marco Tanoskovic in the chat. We got a PC Jack member in the chat. Just in case you guys didn't realize, there are memberships now available on the channel. So we got my first member is now popping up on here, and he's got his thermal turd emoji for the icon
Nice.
there. So it's nice to see you stopping by. I'm getting a 5900X on my X470 board, skipping this Ryzen generation. That's fair. That's the thing. Like, that's what was so appealing about AM4 is the fact that you could go for like a 5000 series CPU on like 4000 series, which came out years ago. So that's why when I'm thinking about what you should go for, Jerry, that's why I kind of lean in a bit to like AM5, because I feel like that's going to be in it for a while now. If you go in 600 series, 700 series Intel, I think you've kind of ended the road already.
Yes, sir.
But again, it's waiting for those discounts on, like if you went for like B650 or like X670 potentially.
Yeah, who knows? Even by then, maybe there'll be the 890 Intel.
Nice, you never know.
890. Yeah, and then I'll be debating which one to get then. So that's why I said I think the safest route is just getting the RAM, and then because DDR5 I think is gonna be around for a little bit.
Oh yeah, I think you're there now, but I think it's just waiting, like, because DDR5's been around for like nearly 2 years at this point now. So maybe now it's kind of getting to that more accessible point for getting into that, like, for like your memory of choice. Yeah, I don't see why not. But then again, if you were like an existing AM4 platform owner, look to upgrade your memory, DDR4 is going for so cheap nowadays. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's crazy how much you can get on there, especially for. I thought you can get 32 gig kits for a pretty decent price nowadays, anyway.
My next video, I talk about the RAM. You know, how much I got it for, since I'm building my cousin's PC. That's what it's last
Nice.
video. I talk about the pricing, and yeah, RAM's cheap. I even got, like in the video I even said I got myself some RAM just because it was on sale.
It's pretty good going. You may as well if you can get into it anyway. But yeah, I am keen to see what eventually you do go for, upgrade wise. But I would wait on like the sales potentially, because I still think B650 was kind of like hit or miss depending on what you went for. But you never know; it could change very quickly. But it's waiting on these X3D CPUs to give you a bit more of an option then.
Yes, sir.
We've obviously had these non-X CPUs crop up as well. That's been pretty interesting. But it's going to be an interesting year, especially for CPUs with X3D coming out. And then I'm not quite sure when we're looking for like 14th gen Intel. I don't know if they're coming out end of this year maybe, or if they're skipping a year.
Yeah, they just wait.
Let's see.
They just wait for Ryzen to drop, and then they make their next move.
That's exactly that. Anyway.
Yeah, they have a small outline, and then they go from there.
Yeah. Mark Tanovich again. So he's coming in with the super chat for 500 RSD. Support this channel. Must rush now. Well, he made quite an impact in his very short visit, but thank you for stopping by and for showing some love to the channel. We appreciate you. But yeah, I'm kind of like I think we're pretty much there for the stream now, guys. Is there anything you want to close out with, Jerry, before we close things out?
Support this channel.
Support this channel, support Jerry's channel, support all the channels. We've got Tech Lab in the chat, we've got Rugby 18 Gaming in the chat. Check out their channels and show them some love and all that as well.
Oh yeah, they're on the rise.
Oh yeah. But like yeah, it's all good. But like we do appreciate you guys stopping by every week and hanging out with us and just making this show a regular thing. Like we've got plans for this show. We wanted to do more of it throughout the year. And like we said the other day, like we had people who are interested in seeing more gaming on the show, more guests as well. We're looking to do as much as we can. So like you guys keep voicing in the chat, in the Discord, whatever you want to see on here. Chuck your submissions in the TechFlashback submissions channel as well, like Rugby Gaming did with that thing about the RX 6000 GPUs. We're just trying to shape the show around what you guys want to see. and it makes both me and Jerry enjoy the show even more because it's a good laugh every week, and it's good to have all of us here in one place at one time, talking tech and shooting the shit.
Yeah, so shout out to TNGC Guru, shout out to Tech Lab, Rugby 187, Joel Kevin, and Finor Nolder. Hope I said that right. And then of course Marco Tanaskovic. You guys are all dope. Go watch The Last of Us so I can talk about it.
I know we need to get to like the end of the season and then we'll have like a deep dive
I know, but
stream. I
still,
think.
either way, go watch it. That way, when it comes to the end of the season,
Oh yeah,
you won't,
definitely. We'll have a good stream and just go through the entire thing.
yeah,
Maybe
you guys
better.
won't be the last of us that have seen it. So go
Okay.
ahead and
And the game will be out by then as well on PC, so we'll have that to talk about.
yeah.
So that'd be even
So not
better.
only go watch The Last of Us on HBO with the banger, I can't even say it. Anyways, and then if you're done when you're done with that, go check out PC Jack's videos. He's coming out with the 6950 XT.
Hmm.
He's gonna have, that's the only teaser I can give for now. And go check out my videos.
What you got coming
Uh
this week?
the Landcool 3 PC build.
That's it. There we
It
go.
should be out on time. So that's that.
Sweet. There we go. So yeah, that's it for the stream. If you guys enjoyed it, then please feel free to like and subscribe to both myself and Jerry for all the tech goodness you could possibly want, and also for next week's stream. And if you'd like to talk more with both myself and Jerry, you can join the PC Jack and Top 3 Entertainment Discord servers. And we'll talk tech, we'll talk everything, memes, whatever you want to talk about. We'll talk about it. And we'll see you guys in the next one. So, peace out.